So does that justify everything that you do?
Excuse me, let me tell you something. What do you think they were doing it for? Because they were trying to save us from poverty? No, they did it because they needed us. It's honor and family and loyalty. And some of us wanted a piece of the action. Now, we weren't educated like the Americans, but we had the balls to take what we wanted.
Well, hello again for the second time tonight, and welcome to the second half of my doubleheader of On The Go right here on Driving to the Top Productions. Of course, I'm Big Haas, and if you didn't tune in earlier, I did my first half where I previewed the Saints-Cardinals game with Dylan. Be sure to check it out. It's on demand right now. We had a great conversation talking the Saints and even doing our NFL predictions for Week 1. But if you're just tuning in for the first time, what's up? It's Wednesday, September 3rd. I hope you guys are ready for an exciting show. Before we go any further, you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, I'm at BigHoss337 on X. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Driving to the Top Productions. You can find on X at Driving to the Top. Subscribe to them on YouTube. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram as well. And this show is presented by POGGERS, the official vitamin supplement of On The Go, whether you're looking for energy, hydration, or you need sleep products. Go to shop.poggers.shop. Tell them Big Hoss sent you, and there it is right there. The promo code OTG to get 10% off of your order is POGGERS, the official vitamin supplement of this show. Now, when I got off the air on the first hour, we were in the 504 previewing the Saints and the Cardinals, and I figured, why don't I keep it in the 504? We're already here. And we're going to be talking mainly college football on the show, doing some recaps of the teams I cover, to predictions, a new segment I'm going to introduce and whatnot. So since we are in New Orleans, let's start with the Green Wave. Tulane kicked off their season with a win over the Northwestern Wildcats, them future doctors who unfortunately cannot play no football. And maybe some of the most disrespectful people I've ever seen, because there was an incident since it was the 20-year anniversary of New Orleans getting devastated by Hurricane Katrina. Tulane wanted to wear their road uniforms as to pay homage to what happened 20 years ago. Unfortunately, Northwestern showed up in with their white uniforms, and they were like, no, we don't want to play in color uniforms. We traveled in road. So they ruined a special moment. That also explained why Tulane did not have decals on their helmets. They didn't have the angry wave on the helmet, because in 2005, they played with no decals on their helmets, and they wanted to pay homage to that horrific year and homage to the families and those that were lost in Hurricane Katrina. So to Northwestern and all them for not wanting to cooperate and let Tulane play in road uniforms and y'all play in y'all's home.
Off is a direction you can fuck.
Well, Tulane did all the talking on the field because they got a big win, 23-3 victory over the Wildcats. Northwestern is, of course, still to this day, the laughing stock of the Big Ten. I mean, basically, anybody can beat this Northwestern team. What a day for the quarterback himself, Jake Retzloff. He went 18 for 31, 152 passing yards. He had one touchdown pass for a yard, that courtesy of Justin Reed. Jake Retzloff also led in rushing, 10 carries for 113 yards. He averaged 11.3 yards per carry, and he also had a rushing touchdown in the game. Maurice Turner also had 14 carries for 86 yards. 40 total carries and 296 total rushing yards for Tulane. Amari Hayes led in receptions, 9 receptions for 74 yards. Justin Reed had 3 receptions for 47 yards and a touchdown, where the team alone, 18 total receptions, 152 total receiving yards, and 1 receiving touchdown courtesy of Justin Reed. The defense, 50 total tackles, 36 solo, 3 tackles for a loss, and 3 sacks by the Green Wave defense courtesy of Jack Chinchu, Santana Hopper, and Cameron Hamilton. I thought I was going to have to say a horrific name I couldn't even pronounce.
If one of y'all says some silly-ass name, this whole class is going to feel my wrath.
But I got it right. And Tulane starts off the season 1-0. Good for them. And coming into week 2, nice little test when they got coming week 2. And I think if I'm correct, what they didn't get to wear this past Saturday, they're going to wear on the road. They just revealed the uniforms they were supposed to wear. That was the first time I saw it today. And I think if I'm correct, they're going to wear them this Saturday when they go to Mobile to take on the South Alabama Jaguars from the Sun Belt, who also picked up a win this past Saturday. They beat Morgan State 38-21. Couple of impact players to watch going into this game. Quarterback Bishop Davenport, 166 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Watch out for running back Kentrell Bullock, who led in rushing, 23 carries for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns in that Morgan State game. Devin Voisin is another player to watch out for. 7 receptions and 69 yards and a touchdown. He led in receiving in that game. And on defense, watch out for Ty Goodwill. On the defense, 11 total tackles, 6 solos, and 2 tackles for a loss in that Morgan State victory. So this is going to be a fun one to see. I want to say it's an early start time. So as I look here, I'm just going to go off a limb and just go ahead and say that Tulane, I think, will start off the season 2-0. So it's a night game down in Mobile. 6 p.m. kickoff down at Hancock Whitney Stadium. Tulane is the heavy favorite. 80% predict Tulane will win the game, and they got minus 10.5 against South Alabama. That's some high numbers there. You think Tulane's going to cover that? With how well they played over Northwestern? They probably will. But I feel like South Alabama would be a better team than Northwestern. South Alabama could beat Northwestern. But I got Tulane winning this game. They're coming up. But, hey, congrats on the win over Northwestern. They deserved it. And that's about all the talk I got for Tulane right now. But let's move across the state. Let's move on because I got a lot and a lot of positivity. I know y'all ready. Let's take it to Tigerland. Let's go to the 225. Let's head out west on I-10. Let's go. Man, I'm going to tell you, it feels so good to know that LSU did what they had to do week 1. They got the win over Clemson. It's been literally forever since they got a win on week 1. LSU proved who got the real Death Valley. They beat Clemson. 17-10 was the final. It was a scary game at first. The atmosphere was electric down there at Memorial Stadium, or Death Valley Junior, whatever you want to call them. Clemson, it was a good quarterback battle with Garrett Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik. I didn't put Klubnik's stats, but he had a decent game. But let's just say, just for LSU's team alone, there were a couple of takeaways. They had 2 fumbles in the game, 25 first downs. They went 4-11 in third down efficiency. They were 0 for 1 in fourth down, and they had 2 fumbles lost. But not a bad game for Garrett Nussmeier. He proved he was the better quarterback over Cade Klubnik. He went 28 for 38, 230 passing yards. He had 1 touchdown pass courtesy of Trey Green, and that was for 8 yards. Actually, the score should have been 24-10. There should have been 2 touchdown passes, but what happened? Whoever caught it at the 1-yard line, the referee wanted to rule off it was an incomplete pass. That's where I'm like, blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
Did you not see the replay clearly? His feet were in fucking bounds and you rolled it and incomplete.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Now, isn't that a load of horse shit?
And they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
That was just a trend of clips for that fucking referee. Because he don't know what the fuck he's doing and whatnot. Should have been 24-10, but I'll take it. 17-10, but that should have been a touchdown pass right there. What else happened in this game? Oh, Caden Durham led in rushing, 17 carries for 74 yards. He averaged 4.4 yards per carry. He had one touchdown for 2 yard in a 2-yard gain. They were like in goal line situation when he did that. In receiving, Aaron Anderson led 99 receiving yards on 6 receptions. That's good for him. Jawan Johnson, 5 catches for 31 yards. Trades Green, 2 catches for 17 yards and a touchdown. Meanwhile, 29 total carries and 110 total rushing yards for the offense, and 29 total catches for 246 total receiving yards for that offense. Hey, shout out to WIC TV. Yes, LSU indeed. And thank you. Yes, thank you for subscribing. Defense, 41 total tackles, 31 solo, 2 sacks courtesy of PJ Woodler and Harold Perkins Jr., 4 tackles for a loss. Also, PJ led in tackles with 5 solo tackles, by the way. Whit Weeks, 5 total tackles and 4 solo. Not bad for him as well. But we proved the point here for now. I say for now because they are going to play again next year in week 1. Hey, who knows? They might beat the college football playoffs. If you not heard what the GOAT said on College Game Day, his prediction was LSU in the national championship to win it all. He had them beating Clemson in a semifinal. He had Penn State winning a semifinal. I think it was against Notre Dame. But he had LSU and Penn State in the national championship and LSU winning their 5th. I love it, Corso. Which, by the way, thank you, Corso. I'm going to cut off. Thank you for all the memories. You had your final game day this past Saturday in Columbus. You had your final headgear pick where you started with Brutus and you ended with Brutus. I enjoyed all the memories. You were one of the reasons why I enjoyed getting up every Saturday morning for 8 o'clock to watch College Game Day. I stumbled upon it around 2004. The season after LSU won the national championship is when I discovered the show, and I've watched it religiously every Saturday for the last 21 years. So it's been a blast watching him. I was blessed to be at College Game Day at LSU 3 times, twice against Alabama, once against Florida. I got to see celebrity guest pickers come from Lil Wayne to Alex Bregman and John Goodman, all picking the Tigers. I love when you put Mike's headgear on. You made some great moments. But I gotta say, some of my all-time favorite moments he's done outside of LSU. Nothing's going to top the, fuck it, at UH in 2011 with the megaphone against SMU. Still one of the most hilarious moments ever. The game day, I don't remember who Georgia was playing, but when he looked at Ugg and he was like, that dog is ugly. One of the funniest lines ever. That was PG. And no F-bombs were dropped. But Corso is a legend. Thank you for all the memories. It's not going to be the same without him. At least they were smart enough to also retire the headgear picks because I can't see like Pat McAfee putting a headgear on. He's already on enough coat to get a crowd hyped up with their chants and their fight songs or this and that. I figured it was best to retire the headgear along with Corso. But yeah, the show won't be the same, but I'm going to continue to watch it every week like he's still there. But anyhow, moving on back to business, LSU heading back to the real Death Valley this Saturday. First home opener of the season. They take on Louisiana Tech, who is coming off a 24-0 win over who they played. Oh shit, they beat they beat Southeastern. They played the Lions from Hammond. Louisiana Tech won 24-0. Here's a couple of key players to watch in this game. You got quarterback Trey Cook. 14 for 19 in passes. He had 130 passing yards. He did have 1 touchdown pass in the game. Thevian led in rushing for 61 yards and a touchdown. Eli Finley led in receiving, 4 catches for 59 yards. Also on the defense, watch out for a player like Kobe Fields, who led in 13 total tackles, 4 solo tackles, 1 tackle for a loss and a sack. That's a lot of tackles. So be on the lookout for them. And this is going to be the 21st meeting between the Tigers and the Bulldogs. LSU has won 16 in a row. They last played in 2018, and I was at that game. But you know how long it's been since Louisiana Tech beat LSU? It has been 121 years. 1904 was the last time Louisiana Tech beat LSU. And it happened in Ruston on behalf. They have never beaten them in Death Valley. Probably never will. One year they almost got lucky. We'll never forget that shit. But we're in for a good one, and it's going to be a Saturday night in Death Valley. I think it's a 6:30 kickoff. Unfortunately, it will not be televised. But if you have the ESPN Plus, you got the ESPN app or SEC Plus, you will be able to watch it on any streaming device or mobile device. So if you're lucky, but I'll try and catch what I can of it, but I'm not going to get too hyped to watch LSU. I'm going to be hyped for another game. With that being said, that will conclude my LSU talk in Tigerland. Let's take it to my neck of the woods, where I'm going to be talking an upcoming game that I wish we can get more often. Let's take it to my neck of the woods. Let's go to the 337 for this one. Now that you're in my neck of the woods, let's get to, I want to start on a positive side because there will be a negative for this. Let's start with the McNeese Cowboys because they actually won their game. McNeese picked up a win this past Saturday at the Hole, 54-9 over Louisiana Christian. Big dominant performance. LCU kind of made it an interesting game in the first quarter, but McNeese finished strong. Speaking of strong, Jake Strong at quarterback went 22 for 28 in passing, 329 passing yards, 3 touchdown passes from one strong to another, strong to strong. And I looked it up. They're not brothers. They're not cousins. They're from 2 different states. But Jake Strong, his first touchdown pass was to Bryce Strong for a 7-yard catch. Second touchdown pass was to Jonathan Harris for 15 yards. And his third touchdown pass to Jesse Campbell III for 11 yards. That one, even the backup quarterback, Alex Flores, got to get into the game a little bit. He went 3 for 6 in passing for 30 passing yards. 25 total completed passes out of 34 with the 2 QBs and 359 total passing yards between the two. Big congratulations to head coach Matt Viatar. After coming back to McNeese, he is now the winningest coach in McNeese football history. That was his 78th win overall. He's now 78-33 as the head coach. And in the Southland Conference, his record is 54-18. So big congratulations to Matt Viatar. Let's go get another one because this next team I'm going to talk about, I am not too confident with right now. Their opponents they're going to be meeting next. The Raging Cajuns, about an hour away, hour and a half from Lake Charles to Lafayette. It's about an hour and a half. They fall to Rice. The Rice Owls from H-Town. Rice is not known for having a dominant college football program. They're known for baseball. Rice picked up a huge win. I'm going to say a huge win. They were the underdogs. 14-12. And what I saw with these numbers, holy shit, dude. Unfortunately for McNeese, back to the McNeese game, I was unable to get any total rushing and receiving, but I was able to get for the QBs. But for the Raging Cajuns, oh my God, look at these numbers. 16 total first downs, 2 turnovers, and 1 fumble loss. Walker Howard, the transfer from LSU, went 10 for 22, total of 88 passing yards and 1 interception. Bill Davis led in rushing. He had 11 carries for 58 yards. Walker Howard, 9 carries for 47 yards, and he scored the only touchdown in the game. And Zylan Perry also had rushing, 11 carries for 46 yards. 31 total carries for 151 total rushing yards. I mean, that's not bad numbers for rushing, but the receiving numbers, my God. Let me just put it this way. Shelton Sampson Jr. led in receiving for the Cajuns. 4 catches for 59 yards. 10 total receptions for 88 yards. So that meant the other 6 receivers only had 1 catch the whole game. My God. That is not good at all. The other 6 receivers only had 1 catch the whole game. And I didn't want to put the numbers down because the rest of them only had 1 catch. But it led to a total of 88 receiving yards on 10 total catches. And Shelton caught 4 of those catches for 59. The defense, however, 61 total tackles, 53 solo, 2 sacks courtesy of Terrence Williams and Jalen Critter, and 7 tackles for a loss. They did not look good this past Saturday. But luckily, they got a chance to bounce back again because now we're getting this rivalry, the battle of I-10, the battle of the 337, but it's actually called the Cajun Crown. And I talked about this when I did my McNeese and UL football previews. McNeese leads this series 20-16-2. This will be the 39th meeting this Saturday at, whether you want to call it Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium or Cajun Field. This will be the first time they met since 2016. I will be at the game. I got a ticket, and I'm going to be repping McNeese because they won, and UL didn't. I was at the last 2 games. I remember they played in 07, my senior year in high school. That was the last time McNeese beat the Raging Cajuns. I was at the 2016 game, too, when former LSU QB Anthony Jennings was the quarterback for the Cajuns, and they got a big win over McNeese. This is going to be a dogfight, but I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raging Cajuns pull this game off, but I'm going to give this one to McNeese. McNeese, I feel like, is a better team. I think they're prepared. Whether you're doing that or doing this, I'm like, where I live at, I'm on that Lafayette Lake Charles border. I know everybody in my hometown and in the parish is going to be in Lafayette for this. Some are going to be wearing blue and gold. The others are going to be wearing red and black. Whoever you're rooting for, it's going to be a fun time. I can't wait, but I'm going with the Pokes. I think McNeese pulls it off. It could be a close game. I don't know a score prediction. Actually, I should have done a score prediction for everybody. So going back to Tulane, they take on South Alabama. I could see that being like I'll say 41-28 Tulane. LSU's going to run over Louisiana Tech. I could see that being like a 56-7 or 56-3. This game, if McNeese wins, I think it's going to be like a 27-24. If the Raging Cajuns pull it off and play better, I see it being a blowout, like a 41-7 win. But I'm going to think it's going to be close. It's a rivalry we hardly get. I wish we would play this every year like they did back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, early 80s. But I'm going with the McNeese Cowboys to beat the Raging Cajuns. So before I go to H-Town, I also I'm going to add a brand new segment on this show because, I've had people tell me, oh, I do appreciate you covering, everyone across I-10, especially in Lake area, Acadiana, Baton Rouge, and big New Orleans area. But they were like, why don't you cover the entire state or whatnot? That would just make a longer show. But I said maybe sometime during football season I could find a way to cover other teams, and I found a way. So I'm going to debut a new segment for week 2 of college football. This segment I'm going to do is going to be called Around the Boot, where I'm going to go all over the boot where I don't cover college football, give out final scores for those teams, upcoming games, and make predictions for them. So going back to week 1, I'll start this one in the 9:05. We'll start with Nichols first. So Nichols, coming off that upsetting win week 0, I gave them a big shout out. They did fall to Troy on the road, 38-20, and we know about Southeastern up in Hammond. Southeastern went to Louisiana Tech and lost 24-0. Meanwhile, in the 3-1-8, let's start with the big surprise here. Northwestern State. The Northwestern State Demons made history up in Natchitoches at Turpin Stadium. They beat Alcorn State 20-10. That was Northwestern State's first win in 3 years and their first week 1 win since 2013. I got to catch some of that game on Thursday while I was watching everybody else. Congratulations to the Demons, and they did rush the field, but hopefully the Southland Conference isn't like the SEC where they're going to find them, because they deserve that moment. They don't have a big winning culture in Natchitoches, and it was nice to see them get that win. So, again, congratulations to them. Also on the 318, UL Monroe shut out St. Francis 29-0. Big win for them. Grambling got a big win at home. They beat Langston 55-7. And then finally, back in the 225, Southern defeated Mississippi Valley State 34-29. And that was on the road. They went on the road and got that win. So out of everyone in the state of Louisiana, the only ones that did not get victories were the Raging Cajuns, Southeastern, Nichols, and LCU. Only 4 teams. Of all, so hear me out. So LSU, UL, Tulane, Southern, Southeastern, Louisiana Tech, Northwestern State, Nichols, Louisiana Tech, Grambling, UL Monroe. 13 teams. So out of 13 teams, only 4 teams lost. So they went 9-4. The state of Louisiana went 9-4, but then again, we had 2 in-state matchups where we were already guaranteed 2 losses. LCU and Southeastern losing to McNeese and Louisiana Tech. But coming up in week 2, we got a couple more in-state matchups. We're going to be guaranteed. I know for sure we got 2 in-state matchups where we're going to guarantee a loss of the state. But there's some other teams that are going to get their ass killed. So let's start with Southern. We'll stay this in the 225. Southern is going to be at home this Saturday. So both LSU and Southern have their home openers. So Baton Rouge is going to be popping, whether you're going to Tiger Stadium or A.W. Mumford Stadium. Southern takes on Alabama State. So I guess it's a conference matchup. I'll give Southern the win there. I got Southern winning at home. Southeastern is also going to have their home opener. They're taking on Murray State. Hopefully Southeastern can bounce back and pull this off, because I got them winning that game. Nichols is going to West Georgia to take on the Wolves. I can see them winning that one too. So those are guaranteed wins right there. But these next 3, oh man. Northwestern State, I'm glad they got that win, because they're going to Minneapolis Saturday to take on Minnesota, the Golden Gophers from the Big Ten. That's going to be a loss for Northwestern. I'm sorry, Demons. I ain't beat Minnesota. What do I want to start with? I want to start with this one. Grambling. They got the worst of the worst for this. Glad they got a win at home over Langston, because now they're going to Columbus to take on the defending national champions, Ohio State. Oh, I don't even want to see highlights of that. Ohio State, despite getting that win last week, this is just a tune-up game to get them ready for conference play. I would love to give a score prediction for this, but it's not going to be pretty. Grambling will be lucky if they get a field goal here. And then finally, we've seen hope for this, but I don't think they're going to have any hopes. UL Monroe is on the road too. They're going to Tuscaloosa to take on a pissed-off Alabama team. Now, they've done it before in 2007, but I don't think they're going to do it again. I would love nothing more than UL Monroe to upset Alabama and Alabama go 0-2. When was the last time Alabama went 0-2? I don't know. But I got them losing to Alabama, unfortunately. And that's all I got for Around the Boot. I like this little segment. It's short and sweet. But without any further ado, let's now take it to the Lone Star State. Let's take it to H-Town. Let's talk them Cougars, baby. Let's go. right, throw them up, baby, because the Houston Cougars, they looked fantastic this past Thursday. They got the win. They shut out Stephen F. Austin, 34-0 over the Lumberjacks. Let's see some numbers in this game. 343 total passing yards, 0 turnovers, 18 first downs. They went 7 for 17 in third down conversions. Connor Wigman at quarterback. Yeah. No, 343 total yards with combining rushing and passing. 152 total passing yards, 191 total rushing yards equal 343 total yards combined in this game. Connor Wigman didn't even get out the game at all. He went 15 for 24, 159 passing yards, 3 touchdown passes to Tanner Kozoil for 11 yards, Jamarian Burnett for 39 yards, and Amir Thomas for 20 yards. Dean Connors led in rushing. He had 15 carries for 50 yards. Jamarian Burnett had 10 carries for 40 yards, 46 total carries in rushing, and 191 total rushing yards for the offense. But Tanner Kozoil led in receiving, 7 catches for 63 yards with a touchdown. Amir Thomas, 3 catches for 44 yards with a touchdown. And Jamarian Burnett had 1 catch for a touchdown, 39 yards. His only catch of the game was a touchdown. For that offense, for the receiving team, 16 total catches for 152 total receiving yards with 3 touchdown catches. 51 total tackles for the defense, 33 solo, 2 sacks courtesy of Brandon Mack II and Rook Brown, and 5 tackles for a loss for that Cougars defense. They didn't skip a beat. They looked good. Houston was throwing down. And they're going to be the road team for this week. As a matter of fact, they're not really going far at all. They're staying in the city. They're just going across town because it's once again time for the Bayou Bucket. Who is the better college football team in Houston? Is it the Cougars or is it the Rice Owls, who came off that win over the Cajuns? By the way, key players to look out for in Rice, impact players, quarterback Chase Jenkins in their victory over the Cajuns. He went 7 completed passes out of 9 for 45 passing yards. Quentin Jackson led in rushing, 22 carries for 119 yards and a 1 rushing touchdown. And Traden Dickman led in receiving, 3 catches for 44 yards against the Cajuns. This rivalry, Houston dominates this. This is going to be the 47th meeting between the two schools. Cougars lead at 34-12 against Rice. Houston's won 8 of the last 10. The last time Rice got their last win at Rice was in 2021. Here's an interesting fact. I used to like when they play this rivalry at a neutral site, which if you're going to do that in Houston, you got a couple of options. Well, 14 times they did not play at that time Robertson Stadium or Rice Stadium, or currently what they got, TDECU Stadium. Out of those 14 neutral site games, they've played 10 times in the Astrodome. The first time was in 1973, and the last time was in 1994. And the Cougars were the first to win that rivalry game in the Astrodome. And they've only played 4 times at NRG Stadium or Reliance Stadium. They first played there in 2004, and the last time they played there was in 2013. Now, Rice was the first to win it there. What's also crazy, too, was Rice was the last team to win it in the Astrodome, but the Cougars were the last to win it at NRG Stadium. They go back to playing campus games. I feel like they need to go back and play this at a neutral site. Go play it at NRG Stadium, where you got half the stadium painted red, the other half painted navy. Texans colors, baby. And it's not even a Texans game. They're playing for that Bayou Bucket. Rice can pull some strings, but I feel like Houston is a better team now. Rice just got lucky because the Cajuns had a shitty game. I got the Cougars winning this one. The fact that it's a rivalry game, I could see this being maybe like a 30-27, 34-30 victory, something like that. I think they could get 34 points again. But that's all I got for the Houston Cougars. But I'm still keeping it in H-Town because I will talk one more team before we get into the rest of college football talk. The Houston Texans kick off their season this Sunday. They go to L.A. to take on the Rams, only the 6th total meeting because the Texans are still the youngest franchise in the NFL. The Rams lead this series 4-1. The last time they met was back in 2021. The Rams won that game 38-22. But here's the crazy part. The last time the Texans beat the Rams, they were still in St. Louis. They beat them 16-13 back in 2009. So Texans have never beaten the Rams in LA or as an LA franchise. They got a chance to do that this Sunday. I think it's a 3:25 kickoff Central Time, so they are a favorite to win. I think they're a favorite to win. I know I did my NFL predictions earlier when I did my Saints preview with Dylan. We both picked the Texans to win. They got the Rams minus 3.5. The Rams are the favorite. 55% think the Rams pull it off, but I think it's gonna be H-Town. I got Houston winning this one. So that's all my talk on the Houston Texans, but I'm far from over for this show. Let's get to some other talk here before we close out with predictions. Let's do some recaps of week 1 of the NFL of college football. And man, did we thought wrong. Let's start with Boise State. They got their ass blown out by South Florida. They were just a 1-off without Ashton Jenney. I don't think they're going to be what they are anymore. Auburn and Baylor, I thought was a hell of a game. Good game, but I thought Baylor had it in the bag, but Auburn pulled it off. Once again, Coach Prime starting off the season 0-1. They fall to Georgia Tech. In fact, I want to get this. I should have had the scores up for this, by the way. Let's go back to week 1. South Florida beat Boise State 34-7. Was there? Oh, shit. Well, this is top 25. No wonder I couldn't see this. I know the Auburn-Baylor game was kind of tight. Let's see. Thursday, Friday. Oh, speaking of, go back to Thursday night. Nebraska, Cincinnati. I felt like it was a Chiefs game because everyone was in red. And Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were there because, of course, Travis Kelce played for Cincinnati. Nebraska pulled it off 20-17. Auburn wins 38-24. Good game, by the way. I thought Baylor would have pulled it off. Georgia Tech beat Colorado in a nail-biter, 27-20. All right. Oh, let's start with this one. I think the Heisman hype for Arch Manning might be dead, but I could digress. Ohio State beat Texas 14-7. Arch Manning went 17 for 30, 170 passing yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. I mean, that's not good. That's not the numbers we expecting them to have. But this game was a little lopsided. But that just don't change the fact, yeah, Ohio State is now the new number 1 seed. Of course, I knew that was going to happen after beating Texas. Texas didn't drop too far back. But I don't know if the hype is still real for Arch Manning. And what the fuck is up with Ryan Day? What the fuck? You got pierced nipples? This was blowing up all over social media. What the fuck really happened after you won the Natty in Atlanta? Did you go to Magic City and get crazy? Holy shit. Freaking coach of the national championship with a pierced nipple, folks. Oh. No. I can't. Get back.
Get back!
I can't do that. No. What else happened in Tennessee blew the shit out of Syracuse. I knew that. Oh, let's talk about. I don't think no one expected Florida State to upset Alabama. I'm just going to go off a limb and say Alabama's dynasty is officially dead. This team will never be the same without Nick Saban and whatever Kalen DeBoer and his coaching staff are doing.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
And I'm loving every single bit of it. I never would have thought after the season Florida State had last year, only winning 2 games, they win 31-17 over Alabama, who dominated. Oh, I loved every second of it. When the game was over, I was like, 1-2, Boogie, Shorty, George.
I knew it. I'm surrounded.
Give me 1-2 Boogie and Shorty George. Shorty George.
And I deleted a fucking clip. I don't know what the fuck I just deleted, but I'm going to have to upload it back. My bad. I clicked on the wrong clip. I was just doing the dance and trying to click at the same time, and something got deleted. Holy shit. That's on me. That's what I get trying to multitask. But Alabama, I think they're done. They dropped pretty low. They went from number 8 to like number 20. And I feel like if they lose again, it's over. Their chances of going to the college football playoff is done. And that second loss, it's coming, whether if it's Georgia or Vanderbilt or Tennessee or LSU, or if they're still playing Ole Miss, even Auburn. Oh, there might be more than 2 losses coming for this team. We're going to find out sooner or later. But you got to love it. The Alabama crumbling after how spoiled they've been for the last several years. Love every bit of it. Going on Sunday, Virginia Tech, South Carolina was pretty interesting to watch. Notre Dame and Miami, classic. Felt like it was the 80s all over again. Monday night, man, I had TCU beating North Carolina, but shit, I didn't think they were going to beat them 41-14. Holy crap. Bill Belichick, his old lady ain't liking that, but hey, it is what it is. But TCU, big win. By the way, if you saw what they got on their campus facility, certain teams do ice baths and whatnot. They got what's called a snow room, where it's like they're in a snowy mountains and they got these 2 machines that can make the room go to 7 degrees, and that's how they like relax their muscles and shit. That's what they got. But hey, TCU pulled it off in Chapel Hill. The hype for Bill Belichick was off the roof, and it led to nothing. But hey, we're getting to week 2, baby. Let's wrap this show up. This was a fun pulling a doubleheader, but let's go ahead and wrap it up. I got some week 2 predictions for college football. So going back to week 1, I went 6-5. I picked 11 games. I went 6-5, but hey, some of them losses were worth it. I got a couple Friday games. No college games until Friday. No games tomorrow with the return of the NFL that I can recall, but I got 2 games from Friday we're going to predict. Let's start with James Madison in Louisville. I picked the Cardinals in this one. I'm going to go with James Madison. I didn't even get rec history shit ready for teams and whatnot. But we got next up Friday, we got Eastern Washington taking on Boise State. So yeah, that the battle of 2 teams with different colored turfs. A team with red turf versus a team with blue turf. The Red Inferno versus the Big Blue, but it's in Boise. It's at the Big Blue. They're going to bounce back. I'm going with Boise State to win this one. Your Saturday slate. By the way, your predictions here, week 2 predictions are presented by Rogue Energy, the #1 sports gaming drink in America. Go to rogueenergy.com or download the Rogue Energy app on any mobile device. Use that promo code right there, OTG, to get 10% off of your order, whether you're looking for energy, hydration, or chill. The official #1 sports gaming drink of On The Go and the #1 sports gaming drink in America is Rogue Energy. Saturday slate, Illinois and Duke. I went with the Duke Blue Devils this one, so I'm going with Duke. Baylor and SMU. If you want to call this a rivalry, I didn't Baylor leads this one, 39 and 36 and 7. I know Baylor had a 13-game win streak. The last time they played was back in 2016. The last time SMU beat Baylor was back in 1986. Last time they beat them in Waco was back in 1984. But I think Baylor just had a bad game. They're going to bounce back. They're going to win. I'm going with Baylor Bears. Baylor beats SMU. Plus, I don't really give two shits for teams in Dallas except for TCU. But like I said, that's not Dallas. That's Fort Worth. Not one. All right, then we got a rivalry game here. We got Iowa and Iowa State, the Cy-Hawk Trophy, which Iowa leads this rivalry 47-24 over Iowa State. But I know Iowa State won last year. But out of the last at least 10 meetings, I think Iowa State's only won 3. Iowa's kind of been dominating this rivalry, but I'm going to pull Iowa State in this one. I think the Cyclones get the win over the Hawkeyes. Plus, it's in Ames, Iowa. I think they play tough at home. They're going to keep that undefeated streak going. Virginia at North Carolina State. I'm going to go with Too Sweet. I'm going to go with the Wolfpack here. So give me North Carolina State. You got to love some of these Power 5 non-conference matchups, and this one should be intriguing to watch. We got Oklahoma State at Oregon. While this loads up, this is only the second meeting between these two. Oregon and Oklahoma State first played back in 2008. Plus, Oregon's one of the top teams in the country. As much as I got my love for Oklahoma State, I don't think they got what it takes to pull it off against the Ducks. So the fact that it's also in Eugene, this is going to be an easy win for Oregon. So I'm going to have to go with the Ducks here. And we're only in week 2 of college football, and we got some SEC action this weekend as well. How about Ole Miss at Kentucky? You know, these two got some rich history together. I know Ole Miss leads this rivalry. They're 29-15-1 against the Wildcats. Kentucky did win the last meeting a year ago. But I feel like Ole Miss has dominated this rivalry. They've won 3 of the last 5 meetings. They had to vacate their 2010 win. But see, Ole Miss is another one of those dangerous teams. So give me Ole Miss. Hotty toddy, they beat Kentucky. Here's another big rivalry here. Kansas and Missouri. I know this is a rivalry. These two teams got rich history. Let's see what they got. Let's see what we got here. Oh man, this is a lot of games. They've met over 100-something times. 54-57. Missouri leads this rivalry 57-54-9 against the Jayhawks. Missouri won the last 3. Make it 4 in a row. And it's also in Columbia, Missouri. I got the Tigers. Mizzou wins this one. Fresno State and Oregon State. I feel like this is a good test for the Bulldogs, especially since they're going to be in the Pac-12 in a couple of years. And the way Oregon State been playing, I mean, I don't know if they got what it takes. So I'm going to go with Fresno State. I think it's going to be a good one. And you want to talk about good rivalries? Let's talk about this one. No one really brings up the I-35 rivalry. Texas State at UTSA. These two teams seriously don't like each other. Let's see how many total meetings they've had. Wait, they've only met 6 times? I thought these two teams had a full rich-ass history against each other. Damn. So, this is interesting. I thought this rivalry was like freaking huge. They make it seem huge. They've only met 6 times, and Texas State beat them for the first time a year ago. Shit, this is pretty lopsided. I feel stupid. UTSA wins big. Give me UTSA. South Florida and Florida. I don't consider this a rivalry either, but I'm going with the Florida Gators. Florida wins big at home. Army and Kansas State. This should be an easy win for the Wildcats. I'm going with Kansas State. Arizona State, Mississippi State. I remember when these two teams met. I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago, and Arizona State defeated the Bulldogs. But this time they're going to Starkville. They're going to Davis Wade Stadium. I still think Arizona State can pull it off. I mean, yeah, Mississippi State looked good against Southern Miss, but Sun Devils, remember, they're the defending champs of the Big 12. They're a better football team than Mississippi State, so I'm going with Arizona State. Our game of the week, College Game Day, is heading to Norman, where the Oklahoma Sooners are taking on Michigan Wolverines. And this is only the second meeting between the two. First time since 1975, where they played in the national championship in the Orange Bowl. Oklahoma beat Michigan 14-6. So this is the first ever trip to Norman for Big Blue. And if they're playing a two-way series together, if Oklahoma goes to the Big House next year or in 2 years, they better be ready for that. I took Michigan. Despite all the drama they got going on, I think Oklahoma is the favorite, but I'm sticking with my gut. I'm going to go with the Michigan Wolverines over Oklahoma, but let's see. Let's see how the numbers look in this matchup real quick. I think it's a night game too. Yeah, 6:30 kickoff. 15 versus 18, by the way. Oklahoma is the favorite. And they give in Oklahoma -5.5. Okay. So, but I got Michigan winning. Vanderbilt and Virginia Tech. Look, I got a lot of respect for Virginia Tech. I love the tradition with Enter Sandman, but they did not look good with South Carolina. And you know what's worse? Having to play two SEC teams in a row, and you got a team on the horizon like Vanderbilt with a quarterback like Diego Pavia, the same guy who beat both Alabama and Auburn a year ago. Vanderbilt's hungry. They want another dominant, successful season. And I got Vanderbilt winning this in Blacksburg, Virginia. They're going to Lane Stadium. I think Enter Sandman's going to get Vandy more hyped up than Virginia Tech. So I got Vanderbilt. And then last but not least, Stanford and BYU. I really don't give two shits for this game. Stanford is a fucking dumpster fire, and I'm not the biggest supporter of BYU and Mormon colleges, but I got BYU beating Stanford. It's not even going to be close. But with that being said, this will wrap up this doubleheader night. Thank you for everyone if you tuned in for both shows, I salute you. Thank you for the love and support. And I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you all had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Safe one. Enjoyed some college football, but now we're in full swing. Got high school football, college football, and the NFL all in one weekend. I'm so excited for that. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. So without any further ado, thank you for tuning in. Driving to the Top Productions, great people, great content. You know where to find those guys, and you know where to find me. But thank you guys. Peace out. I love you. God bless. Enjoy y'all football weekend.